Hey there, Broncos country. Get ready, because what I'm about to tell you could completely change the course of our season. Something happened that might force our front office to make immediate moves in the free agent market. And look, Denver Broncos family, when I say immediate, it's because the situation is seriously urgent. Stick around because in the next few minutes, you'll understand why this news could be a game changer for our team that's flying high with 8 wins and only 2 losses. But before I give you all the details, I want you to think with me. What happens when you lose an important piece of your offense right now at the most decisive moment of the season? Let's find out together. Here's the situation, Broncos country. Last Thursday night, during that epic battle against the Raiders that ended with us winning 10-7, something happened that left everyone on our side worried. J.K. Dobbins, our starting running back, who had been an absolute machine all season long, suffered a foot injury. And it wasn't just any injury, family. Reports indicate it's something significant, one of those injuries that makes you hold your breath and hope it's not as bad as it seems. But let me put into context how important this guy is to our offense. Dobbins was having a sensational season in orange and blue. We're talking about 772 rushing yards accumulated, holding the 5th position among all running backs in the league. He was averaging 77 yards per game, and even more impressive, an average of 5 yards per carry. These numbers don't lie, people. The guy was being fundamental to making our offensive scheme work like clockwork. Now comes the part that gives any Denver Broncos fan that tightness in their chest. The injury happened in a controversial way, and Dobbins himself didn't hold back his words after the game. He was brought down by the Raiders' defensive lineman in a play that many people consider to have been an illegal hip-drop tackle. And look at this frustration. The referees didn't call anything at the time. Zero. Zilch. Nothing. Dobbins was so upset that he went on social media the next day and asked in big bold letters to ban this type of tackle, or at least call the penalty when it happens. And he's right to be upset. Denver Broncos family. What makes the situation even more dramatic is that Dobbins, being the warrior that he is, returned to the game after a quick conversation with the medical staff. He carried the ball 6 more times on the drive that practically sealed our victory. Imagine the guts of this guy playing hurt to help the team win. But after the game, when the tests started coming in, the news wasn't encouraging. Sources close to the team revealed that the organization spent several days collecting medical opinions and information about the extent of the injury, trying to formulate the best course of action. And here's where the crucial part of today's conversation comes in, Broncos country. With Dobbins potentially out for several weeks, and with the real possibility of him being placed on injured reserve, what happens to our backfield? Well, the immediate answer is R.J. Harvey, our second-round rookie, who has shown flashes of talent when he's had opportunities. Harvey has carried the ball 50 times for 214 yards so far, and has also been a valuable weapon in the passing game, catching 25 of 29 targets for 175 yards and 4 touchdowns. Respectable numbers for a rookie. But here's the question that all of us Denver Broncos fans need to face head-on. Can a rookie, no matter how talented, carry the offense on his back during such a critical moment of the season? We're talking about a team that's leading the AFC West division with 8 wins and 2 losses. We're looking straight at the playoffs. Every game now carries enormous weight. This isn't the time to experiment and hope it works out. It's time to make sure we have enough ammunition to hold on to this privileged position we've earned with a lot of sweat. And that's exactly why the rumors have started to appear. According to league sources, the Broncos front office might be considering signing a veteran free agent to add depth to our backfield. And the name that's circulating behind the scenes? Ezekiel Elliott. That's right, folks. The former Dallas star who has carried the ball in playoff games, who has felt the pressure of decisive games, who knows what it means to play when every snap can define an entire season. Now, before you start bombarding me with questions, let's analyze this calmly, Broncos country. Elliott is no longer that dominant runner who led the league in yards a few years ago. He's got mileage on his body. He's been through ups and downs in his career. But here's the important point. We don't need him to be the number one guy. We need someone who can split carries with Harvey, someone who won't get lost when the opposing defense puts 8 guys on the line trying to stop our run. We need experience and game knowledge. Think with me, Denver Broncos family. Sean Payton is one of the shrewdest coaches when it comes to using multiple running backs in a rotational system. He's shown throughout his career that he knows how to extract the best from veterans who may not have the explosion they once had, but who bring game intelligence and reliability. Elliott could be exactly that type of piece. Someone who comes in on third and short situations, someone who can catch important passes out of the backfield, someone who can give Harvey time to breathe and develop without the pressure of carrying the entire offense alone. But let's be realistic here. Bringing in a veteran now in the middle of the season isn't as simple as pushing a button. The guy needs to learn the playbook, needs to develop chemistry with the offensive line, needs to understand pass protection schemes. All of this takes time, and time is exactly what we don't have much of right now. We're in the final stretch of the regular season. Every week counts. Every game could be the difference between hosting a playoff game at home or having to travel to play at a rival's house. And there's another factor we can't ignore. We have Jaleel McLaughlin and Tyler Beatty on the roster, too. McLaughlin especially has shown in the past that he can contribute in the ground game when necessary. Is adding one more body to the backfield really the solution, or are we better off developing what we already have internally and trusting that these guys will step up when called upon? That's the decision that's in Sean Payton's and General Manager George Paton's hands right now, Broncos country. And it's not an easy decision. If they bet on Harvey and the current backfield composition and things don't work out, they'll be crucified by the fans and media. Everyone will say they should have made a move when they had the chance. But if they bring in a veteran and that guy can't adapt quickly enough, or worse, gets hurt trying to force too much from a body that already has a lot of mileage, then they'll be questioned too. And look, Denver Broncos family, there's an important detail about Dobbins' injury that needs to be mentioned. The guy has an injury history that haunts his career. In 2021, he tore his ACL during the preseason and missed the entire season. In 2022, he underwent knee surgery and missed 9 games. In 2023, he suffered an Achilles tendon injury in the first game of the season and was out for the rest of the year. Between 2021 and 2023, he played only 9 games in 3 complete seasons. This context makes the current situation even more complicated. It's not just a question of how long Dobbins will be out now, it's also a question of thinking about the future. He was on a 1-year contract with us, proving he could still play at a high level, and he was doing exactly that until this damn foot injury. But now, with yet another injury added to his medical resume, what's his future with the franchise? Will the Broncos want to invest in re-signing him knowing he seems to be injury-prone? These are questions that are probably being discussed right now in our team's offices. And regardless of what the decision is about bringing in a free agent or not, one thing is certain, R.J. Harvey is going to have to grow up fast, Broncos country. The rookie is going to face his first real test this Sunday against the Kansas City Chiefs. And what a test, huh? Playing against the division arch rival in a game that could practically define the AFC West champion. I know you're there. Subscribing to this channel right now, Broncos country. If you're a true Denver Broncos fan and don't want to miss absolutely anything about our team, hit that red subscribe button right now. Turn on the notification bell because there's new content here every day about our orange and blue family. Let's continue this journey together toward the playoffs. The situation with the Chiefs makes everything even more urgent. They're 5-4 outside the playoff zone at this moment, and they're going to come to Mile High completely desperate. A desperate team is a dangerous team, folks. They know they need to start a winning streak now if they want any chance of making the postseason, and we know what it's like to play against them. It doesn't matter what the record is, doesn't matter who's hurt or not. Broncos versus Chiefs is always a war. Sean Payton has already made it clear during the week that he trusts Harvey. Bo Nix, our rookie quarterback who's having a spectacular season, also publicly praised the running back's work. Courtland Sutton, one of the locker room leaders, talked about the confidence the entire team has in Harvey. But praise is one thing, Broncos country. Production on the field in a high-pressure game is something completely different. Harvey is going to have to prove he can handle 20 or more carries. He'll have to show he can be effective running both inside and outside. He'll need to be reliable in third-down situations, and perhaps more important than all of that, he'll have to show he can protect Bo Nix in pass protection schemes. Because if the Chiefs start pressuring our quarterback constantly because Harvey is missing blocks, that could completely derail our offense. And it's not just the Chiefs on the horizon, Denver Broncos family. After this crucial game, we have a bye week, which at least gives the team a little time to breathe and reorganize. But after the bye comes a schedule that doesn't forgive. We have to go to Washington to face the Commanders. Then we come back home against the Raiders in a revenge game, and then we face the Packers. All of these are games we'll need to win if we want not just to make the playoffs, but to have home field advantage. The reality is, we're at a crucial moment of the season where we can't let games slip away that we should win. And without a consistent running game, it becomes much harder to control the clock, keep our defense rested, and execute that type of physical, dominant football that has been our trademark this season. That's why this decision about whether or not to bring in a veteran like Elliott is so important. Some analysts are saying it would be too conservative a move, that it would show a lack of confidence in Harvey. Others argue it would be the smart move, ensuring we have all our bases covered. I honestly see both sides. Broncos country. On one hand, you don't want to undermine the confidence of a young player who could be the franchise's future. On the other, you're in position to compete for a title now, and you need to maximize your chances. What I can say is that I trust Sean Payton's leadership. The guy has already won a Super Bowl, has already dealt with pressure situations much bigger than this. If he thinks he needs another running back, then he probably does. If he thinks he can win with what he has, then I believe him too. But one thing is certain, family. The next few days are going to be crucial. We're going to keep an eye on any move the front office makes. And let's talk about the defense for a second, because it's going to be even more important now. With the possibility of our offense having some hiccups while adjusting to Dobbins' absence, our defense is going to need to keep playing at that dominant level they've shown during most of the season. Vance Joseph has done a phenomenal job coordinating that unit. The guys are flying to the ball, making tackles, creating turnovers. Pat Surtain, too, is unfortunately also injured and will miss another game, which is another blow to our defense. But the next man up has to be ready. Broncos country. That's how playoff teams work. There can be no excuses. When someone goes down, the next guy in line has to step up and deliver. That's what separates good teams from great teams. Bo Nix is also going to have an even more crucial role now. Our quarterback is going to need to carry more responsibility on his shoulders. He'll have to do more with his arm. He'll have to be even more accurate. He'll have to avoid turnovers. The good news is that the kid has shown maturity beyond his years. He doesn't play like a rookie. He has that calmness in the pocket, that ability to make quick and accurate reads. If there's anyone who can elevate their game when the team needs it most, it's Bo. And our receivers are going to have to keep making those explosive plays. Troy Franklin has been a revelation this season. The way he's developed, the chemistry he's built with Bo, all of that is going to be fundamental. Courtland Sutton, our reliable veteran, is going to have to use all his experience to help move the chains when the ground game isn't working. But getting back to the backfield question, Broncos country. There's something that needs to be said about the timing of this possible signing. If the Broncos really want to bring someone in, they need to do it soon. The earlier a veteran arrives, the more time he has to get used to the system. Every day of practice counts. Every film meeting counts. You can't wait until the last minute and then bring someone in expecting them to come in and produce immediately. Elliott, if he's the chosen one, would have at least a few days to work with the team before the Chiefs game. It's not ideal, but it's better than nothing. And being a league veteran with years of experience, he could probably absorb at least the basics of the playbook relatively quickly. The fundamental concepts of running don't change that much from team to team. It's more a matter of understanding the nomenclature and specific adjustments. But I'll be honest with you, Denver Broncos family, I'm a little concerned about bringing in a guy who's been out of football for some time. Elliott isn't on a roster right now. That means he's not practicing every day, not getting hit and hitting every week. Getting into game shape is difficult, especially for a running back who needs that specific conditioning to be effective. The last thing we want is to bring in someone who's going to get hurt right on the first contacts because they weren't properly prepared. On the other hand, being fresh could be an advantage. Without the wear and tear of a full season of hits, he might have more energy and explosion than he would if he'd been playing every week since September. It's a double-edged sword, and only time will tell which side will cut, for or against us. What makes me optimistic, Broncos country, is the culture this team has built. Did you see how everyone grinded it out in that win against the Raiders? It was an ugly, tough game, one of those you win on guts and determination. 8-2 doesn't happen by accident. This record is the result of hard work, preparation, and a winning mentality that has permeated the locker room since training camp. Sean Payton brought this mentality. He doesn't accept excuses. He doesn't accept mediocre effort. Either you're 100% committed, or you don't have a place on this team. And the players have completely bought into this philosophy. You see it in the way they compete every week. You see it in the way players like Harvey, who were backups, stay ready because they know they can be called upon at any moment. This next adversity with Dobbins' injury is just another test for this group. And I believe they're going to pass this test, Broncos country. Will it be difficult? For sure. Will there be moments of frustration? Probably. But this team has shown resilience all along. They find ways to win. And look, let's not forget, we have one of the best offensive lines in the league when healthy. These guys up front open holes. They protect the quarterback. They establish the line of scrimmage. If Harvey can be patient and follow the blocks, he'll find space. If McLaughlin can use his speed in the right schemes, he can make big plays. If Beatty can contribute in specific situations, great. The individual piece may have changed, but the system still works. What I want you to understand, Denver Broncos family, is that this situation isn't the end of the world. It's an obstacle, no doubt, but playoff teams face obstacles and overcome them. That's what separates pretenders from real contenders. Anyone can win when they're 100% healthy and everything is working perfectly. Real teams show their mettle when things get tough. And things just got a little tougher for us. But you know what's interesting? I think this could even be a blessing in disguise. Sometimes when things come too easy, you get complacent. You stop having that hunger, that urgency. Now there's no way to be complacent. Everyone knows they need to elevate their level. Everyone knows they're going to have to do a little more, and that could end up making us a more complete and dangerous team down the road. Think with me, Broncos country. What if Harvey has an incredible performance and we discover we have a dual weapon in the backfield when Dobbins comes back? What if McLaughlin finally has the opportunity he's been waiting for and explodes? What if this adversity forces our offense to be more creative, more diverse, and ends up making us harder to defend? All of these are real possibilities. So yes, the news about Dobbins' injury isn't good, but it's not time to panic. It's time to trust the process, trust our players, trust our coaching staff. They got us to 8-2. They know what they're doing. And we, as Broncos country, need to be behind them supporting every step of the way. About the possible signing of a free agent, let's wait and see. If it happens, we'll welcome the guy with open arms and hope he can contribute. If it doesn't happen, we'll support the guys who are already here and who have already proven they deserve to wear this jersey. At the end of the day, it doesn't matter who's carrying the ball. What matters is that we're all rowing in the same direction. So what do you think, Denver Broncos family? Should we bring in Ezekiel Elliott or fully trust Harvey and the guys we already have on the roster? I want to know your opinion. Go down to the comments and tell me what you would do if you were the general manager. Would you bring in a veteran or bet on the young guys? And go ahead and drop that like on the video to help the channel grow and bring quality content to more people in Broncos country. Share this video with that friend of yours who's also a Broncos fanatic. Let's spread the word and show that our family is united no matter what happens. And stay tuned to the channel because I'll bring all the updates about this situation as new information appears. You'll find out first about any move the team makes. Until the next video, Broncos country, let's keep believing, keep supporting, and keep being the best fan base in the league. 8-2 isn't luck, it's work. And that work continues. Let's go together toward the playoffs. Go Broncos!